Wrong button.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Oh, man, the island is a dangerous place. And so today, we're going to be talking about some of the mistakes that early players make when playing Ark Survival Ascended or Ark Survival Evolved for that matter. I mean, let's get into it because there's quite a few of them. And then, yeah, wow. All right, let me deal with these compies. Holy crap. All right. All right, so one of the first mistakes I see a lot of newer players making is taming the wrong dino or looking for the wrong dinos. Because, I mean, when you're just starting out on any map, the island, in the center, aberration, extinction, anything, you want to set your sights on, well, go with the basic type of dinosaurs first. Don't set your sights too huge and don't set your sights too small. If you tame a dodo, guess what? That dodo, that really just becomes something that you're going to have to trip when you're running from other things. That's what it is. It's slow. You're going to have to carry it around everywhere you go. You're not going to be able to hold anything while you're doing it. It's just going to become very cumbersome. If you tame a pack of dillos, yeah, they can be good, but they're also really slow, which means they're going to make sure that you go really slow across wherever you're going, because in the early game of Ark, well, you have to move. You have to shoot, you have to communicate, you have to go and get things done. If you're going at a snail's pace, guess what? You are a viable target for everything that comes out of the woodwork and decides it wants to chew on you. And if you form a bond with, say like a group of dodos, group of dillos, something like that early game, you're not going to want to leave it to just die when an alpha raptor gets set upon it and then you lose everything. Yeah. So I would recommend, if you're going to go with, packs of dillos, do that once you've actually established your base. Establish someplace where you can actually start building. Now, the things that I would recommend on taming is, first off, get a shoulder pet. It doesn't matter which shoulder pet it is, get a shoulder pet. I've got a compy on my back. These guys, they're not ideal. They have no special abilities other than another one here, and let me talk about it. All right, they actually have weight reduction. Right, so we throw this guy down, we take a look at his inventory. All right, he's got a 46 meat on him, weighs 4.6. He's got 4.7 weight. I have 57.4, so if I pick him up, I should have 61 weight. Well, we have 59. He reduces everything in his inventory while he's on my shoulder by half. This guy will become really big for us later on in the future, so where we can just freely open up our inventory and transfer, say, narcotics to him. All right, that way there he's going to be reducing that. If we've got trank arrows in our inventory, he can carry those. Now our weight just got substantially reduced. It is really helpful, and just get a shoulder pit. It doesn't matter which one. Later on, after you get later on in the game, pick, say like your otter, your Mesopithecus, get whatever kind of shoulder pet you want. Early on in the game, grab a compy. It helps out a ton. Shoulder pets are great. Now, when you're going towards looking at what dinosaurs you want to be setting your sights on, well, I would, like I said, start off with the basics. Go with, say, like a parasaur, an iguanodon, a berry-eating dinosaur that you can put a saddle on. It will actually give you quite a bit of protection and also allow you to move faster than normal. It's important. Also, parasaurs have a wonderful ability. They can fear roar. Yeah, it's on a timer, but they can still do it. So if you get in a pinch, you can fear roar and just get out of there. It's pretty good. And also, keep an eye out for tames of opportunity. Say like you got a stray raptor. Yeah, make sure that you knock that sucker out, which is also going to be leading into another one into the next one I see a lot of new players doing. Now, what I see a lot of new players not doing, well, that's not carrying bolas. The moment you are high enough level to carry bolas, level 9, I would recommend have bolas in your inventory. On your hotbar, ready to go. They are the matter between life and death, and also tames of opportunity. If you see something that is like low-hanging fruit, a level 20 raptor hanging out on the beach all by itself, and you've got, a club, you've got something that can knock that sucker out, bola it, smack it in the head, tame it. You can tame it up with raw meat at that point, and it'll still be better than nothing. It'll be better than a dillo that is following you around. It'll be better than a dodo following you around. It's just going to make life so much easier. Also, when it comes to things like parasaurs, you can craft a parasaur saddle at level 9. You can craft a raptor saddle at level 18. You can craft an iguanodon saddle at level 30. These are low-level tames, and they are so good. They are game-changing when it comes round to it. And so make sure at all times you have a bola on you. Also, if you have bolas on you and you get attacked, if you're out in the wilderness and you get attacked, well, guess what? You just turned... Well, that guy actually took care of him for me. But yeah, you can turn a very dangerous situation into one that is actually quite fortuitous for you. So if there's a raptor coming towards you and you're out and alone, or 2 raptors, take it, bola them, take a look, see what level they are, and if you've got trank arrows on you, knock that sucker out. You just turned a deadly situation into one that is going to help you out in the long run quite a bit, because yeah, those raptors, they're going to help out. Yeah, it's pretty good. Which leads me into another mistake I see a lot of people doing. All right, so one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people, they seem to think that you need to have your food bar all the way up. I mean, that's a number, right? The lower number is bad? Not necessarily, all right? Because whenever you eat, you actually get a little bit of health. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it will actually help out quite a bit. So by keeping your food stat low around like, between 10 and 20 at all times, then if you all of a sudden get hit and you need a quick little bit of healing, all you have to do is eat a piece of meat and you're going to get a little boost of healing. It will help you out. Granted, it's not going to absolutely save you, but you know, sometimes it could. Sometimes it could. I mean, it's not going to be like a health potion that heals you up by like 30-40%. No, it's going to give you about a 5 to 10% little bit of healing when you absolutely need it the most. So make sure at all times you've got your health or your food stat or your food running between about 10 and 20 out of the 100. So about 10 to 20%. That way there, you're not starving. But also, you know, whenever you need it, if you say we come up and this parasaur decides it wants to attack me, of all things, yeah, we can get out of there, we can bowl it, or say like that Dillo decides he wants to attack me, and he hits me, and he actually has a buddy behind me, and he starts doing damage to me. Well, you know, we could, bowl it, run out of the way, eat a food, and we got a little bit of health, and we're back in the action, and we can take care of things. It does matter, and it does help out quite a bit. All right, one of the next things I want to talk about is early game resources. Yes, you do need to focus on gathering some. Grab some thatch, grab a little bit of wood, but also just remember that while you're carrying this stuff has a lot of weight. And even if you have a shoulder pet, you're not going to be able to put all that stuff in it. So while you are trying to gather up a lot of this stuff, but say if we're going to, have this stuff, but we need to have like a campfire. All right, well, just go ahead, craft up the campfire. All right, that way there, you've got it already done, because this right here, yeah, the flint is going to weigh stuff, the thatch is going to weigh stuff, the stone is going to weigh stuff, but if you craft it, it's actually going to weigh less than the sum of all its parts in your inventory. Right there, it weighs 4, and also, now you've got a campfire just in case. You can throw it down. You can actually get your food cooking wherever you are, and it's extremely helpful. Make sure that while you are gathering up a bunch of resources, just craft things as you go. That way there, you're going to have a lot less weight in your inventory. Don't pile up on stuff, but do gather it, because you definitely need to pay attention to gathering a whole bunch of materials, because this is a survival game and it can be brutal at times. So you just want to make sure that you have the things that you want necessary. Just know that if you're going to need that campfire, if you're going to need that foundation, craft it now and then use it later. If you need to, you can always, craft up a couple foundations and then break them later and get back half your resources. It does come in handy. And yeah, just remember, foundations are actually, unless if it's thatch, foundations actually weigh less than the materials it took to actually build it. So, yeah. Also, on early game resources, I would recommend, gather up the flint, gather up your stone, all the stuff that you see on the beach, the thatch, fiber, wood, all of that stuff. Don't worry about, going off and saying, hey, I saw somebody in a show on a YouTube video where they had a spyglass. That'll come later. Those are more advanced stuff. The crystal needed for that is more advanced. Just worry about survival. Worry about setting up yourself for success before you go off and go and get the crystal. Because crystal can be dangerous. A lot of times it comes from hard to get to spots, and it comes from going into the caves. Yeah, it's a bit more advanced. Worry about setting up yourself for success, then go get the crystal once you actually get into a pretty good spot. Which brings me to the next one, base locations or setting up your first base. One of the first things you're going to want to do is, well, first you're going to want to survive. You're going to want to spawn in whichever spot of the map that you do, and then survey the area. If it's safe, then you can actually start just gathering a bunch of stuff. But I would not recommend going and setting up, say, like a base at the first spot that you land, because that right there, well, you really have no idea what wanders through there. You have no idea just how dangerous it is. You have no idea how close it is to resources that you're going to eventually need. I would recommend, if you're, say, like down here on the beach, you could have anything wander up to you. You don't know. I would recommend get a little bit further inland and, try to go kind of survey the area. Maybe up there on that cliff edge would actually be a little bit better, because not only would it provide a little bit of support, but also we'll be able to take notice of all the things that are wandering around through there a lot easier. And yeah, and besides, things are going to, because when it comes around to Ark, things attack other things and they follow other things. So say like if a raptor attacks a parasaur and it chases it down this beach, well, guess what? Well, that parasaur just trained you with a raptor, maybe even a pack of raptors. If you're up top, you can actually set up some pretty good defenses pretty early on. Yeah, and also remember, when you're building things, don't do a massive base right away. Just don't. You're going to want to be able to move very easily, and building a big base doesn't allow you to move. You're going to get in there, you're going to get attached, all your stuff is going to be there, and you're going to be like, well, I've already got all my stuff here, why do I need to move? Well, the reason why you need to move is because eventually you may find out that that base area you picked because it, was just amazing. Well, it kind of sucks. But, start out small, 4x4 foundations or 2x2 foundations with a smithy, a refining forge, and mortar and pestle, and a bed. That's really all you need until you can actually stay in that spot for a while and just decide whether or not it's a good spot, so where you need to move on. Or if you go and you find another spot that you just like so much better, it's easy to move that equipment over to the new one. But if you overbuild with like, a 20x20 foundation area that looks really good, you've got the dragon mouth coming off the front, and you got all sorts of different stuff, moving at that point is going to be extremely hard and nigh impossible. So, yeah, just make sure that you survey the area, you pay very close attention to what spawns in the area, the resources in the area. That's a very, very important one, because if you were to build in a spot where there's no metal, no river rocks, anything like that, well, guess what? Half of your playtime is going to be going to get the metal and then coming back with the metal and then waiting on the metal to refine into the ingots and then going out and getting more metal. That's going to be a lot of your playtime. If you're cool with that, then do whatever. It's your game. Like I say, it's your game. But just know that, yeah, building in a good spot, it kind of matters. All right, now we're moving on to the next one. And one of the biggest mistakes I see newer players doing or not doing is, well, to be fair, it's not learning the map. All right, now what you need to do, you need to be able to know exactly where you're going, what you're doing, and just learning this. All right. There's a lot of stuff that is just hidden around here. And while you're adventuring around, you're going to come across a spot and you're going to be like, oh, that is absolutely amazing spot. And then you're going to go off, you're going to head back to your base, and you're going to forget. Yes. All right. So now what you need to do when it comes around to things like that, say if we found crystal here in our adventures, well, guess what? All you do is just double click on the map and then you put crystal right there. So where you know exactly where the crystal is. And by the way, if you're watching this and you need to know a good, easy spot for crystal, there's crystal right there. Right. Yeah, it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come quick, but yeah. It will take you quite a bit of time to learn the map, but I would recommend learning the map. And if you're playing with other people, just remember latitude always comes before longitude. No matter what you're doing, latitude, longitude. Yes, that way there you can tell the people the east-west coordinates and then your north-south coordinates. So yeah, if you're putting out anything, latitude and then longitude, say that. And then also, I mean, if you're looking for something or somebody gives you anything, latitude, then longitude. It just works. All right, now one of the easiest ways of actually learning the map. Yeah, you can do it on any of the ground mounts, and that is a good, viable way of doing it, but that gets pretty dangerous. What I would recommend doing is when you actually get high enough level, at level 38, what you want to do, you want to tame a Pteranodon. And then as soon as you tame a Pteranodon, well, I would recommend leveling up its stamina and then just going out. And this is probably one of the most freeing, cool things when it comes to Ark. Your first flight is magical. It's absolutely amazing. But also what you need to do is while you're doing this, while you're going around with that Pteranodon, you're exploring, well, guess what? Keep looking at your maps where you know exactly where you are. Look at the landmarks. See, we've got an obelisk right here. Well, the obelisk, we now know, is way down here. It's right here on the thing. So, you know, while we're looking over here, we can actually see there's like this little rock over here. And then we punch up the map and be like, oh, okay, that's right over here. That's pretty cool. So now you're learning the map and you're learning exactly where to go, what to, where places are. And also when you're looking for resources, use the waypoint system or just, yeah, find ways to help you remember it. Because learning the map, it does help quite a bit. All right, now one of the things that I see a lot of newer players, well, actually also some more advanced players, and hell, I do it sometimes too without even realizing it, is you don't prepare for the early game challenges that you know will inevitably hit. I mean, because at any time during the day on, say, like the island, you can get hit by a heat wave. What do? How are you going to react to that? Well, heat waves can be deadly, especially early game. They can literally take you from full health to 0 health rather quickly. What happens if you get hit by a cold front? Well, that can do the exact same. That can take you from full health to 0 health very quickly. How are you going to react to that? Well, there's certain different ways of doing that. One, when it comes to the heat wave, you can have a base where you can go in and you can be sheltered from the heat that way. Or you can have access to a little bit of water so you can go down in and then you can kind of submerge yourself a little bit where it's safe and you can just, you know, outlast the heat wave in here while it brings down the temperature a little bit. When it comes around to the cold snaps, well, you can actually build a spot that's got 2, maybe even 3 campfires built around it, or even torches will work. And this right here, this is my heat spot, my heat area. So where if it gets, or the cold snap area. So where if it gets cold, I just light these 2 fires and I'm fine all the way through it. Yeah, it kind of helps out. Or you can light a campfire inside of here, and then while you're in here, you're actually, as long as you've got the house buff on you over on the right side, it will actually help you out a little bit. Not a ton, but it will help you out a little bit. 1 fire is usually enough when it comes around to the house buff. Also, make sure that while you're going around, stay hydrated. Yeah, just make sure. Yeah, hydration is one of those things you want to have maxed out. It's not like food. It doesn't give you any healing. There's no benefit to lowering the water stat like there is to the food stat. Food stat will heal you. Water stat, well, you're gonna die of dehydration. if you don't have your water stat up there rather high. So just always stay hydrated. Keep your water as full as possible. Yeah. Just make sure you keep that as full. Whenever you're anywhere close to water, drink. Yeah. If you see water, drink. It's going to be helpful. Trust me. All right, now the next one is learn the basics of combat. As a matter of fact, this is probably going to be the last one here. But this is one of the things I see a lot of people doing is, or not doing, is not learning, how to effectively bola things, how to effectively shoot things, when to effectively shoot things. Say if we're going to be doing this and we shoot this guy just like that, he's just going to run off. Yeah, look at that. And we're going to be chasing him and we're going to lose him. If there's a raptor coming at us, yeah, if you just shoot it, well, guess what? That raptor's going to be able to attack you. All right, bola that sucker. Grab a pike, grab a hatchet once it's bolted, and then you can whack that sucker. But don't try whacking the sucker when it's not being bolted, because it's just going to be eating you the entire time. Yeah. You need to learn how combat works, when is the best and most effective times to actually smack something, and when's the best time to run, when's the best time to bola, and also you need to learn what can be bullied. That is one of the most important things. Generally, if it's the rule of thumb, if it's your size or smaller, it can be bullied. If it's your size or bigger, well, just run. Yeah, just run and hope. Hope for the best. Yeah. But yeah, what I mean by your size is things your frame, not as tall as you, your frame. Yeah, trikes can't you're about as tall as a trike, well, at least I am. And you cannot bowl at a trike. But yeah, it's your frame, not your height. Yeah. All right, so hey, I hope these helped you out. Let me get into a lighter spot. I hope these helped you out. Yeah, and honestly, best luck on the journey, and I hope the video helps you. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And if you're new around here, subscribe. I'm Phlinger, and take it easy, everybody.